Hey guys, welcome back to BellaVet. So it's getting to that time of year again where a lot of you guys are going back to school, and some of you are even going to vet school, which I'm so excited for. And today I just want to show you guys some items that I use in vet school, and they really helped me survive first year. And I also think that some of these items would be really helpful for those of you who are going back to undergrad, or for those of you that are going to be freshmen in college. So without further ado, I'll get started. Oh, and one more thing. Some of the things that I'm going to show you guys today I was either gifted or I had to save up for a while for. So if I show you guys something like that, then I will definitely put a more budget-friendly version in the description bar below. Okay, so the first thing that really helped me out in vet school is my Surface Pro 3. And I really love it because it can be a computer or a tablet, and you can get a pen with it, and I love taking notes in class. That's just how I get information into my brain, and I can still do that while using it, while having the convenience of everything being in computer format without having to ruffle through paper notes. And so I really love it because of that. I am a Mac user at heart, but the hardware on this thing is just awesome, and OneNote is really easy to use, and it just keeps everything in one place, and it keeps all my notes very organized, and I can download PowerPoints and write all over them, and that's really helpful. So that is the computer I use for vet school, and I absolutely love it. I hope it holds out for all 4 years. So if any of you guys are headed off to vet school and are looking to get a new computer, I definitely recommend the Surface Pros. A ton of people in my class have them, and they're just really easy to use. Okay, so the next thing that helps me survive vet school are my noise canceling headphones. And these are called the JBL Everest Elite 700, and they are amazing. Some people like to listen to music when they study, and other people like to have complete silence, and I'm one of those people who loves complete silence. If you are too, these are awesome. I have listened to music in them, and like when I'm in a plane or on a car trip, and they are really wonderful for that too. These are a little bit pricey, so I'll find another brand that is also noise canceling that's a bit more budget friendly, and I'll put it in the description bar. So the next thing that I really love to have on my desk while I study is a candle warmer, and this is what mine looks like. And it's got a little hot plate on there, and if you go to Bath & Body Works, they sell the little mini candles, and they fit really well inside. And yeah, it just helps out when I'm studying and I'm stressed. I like to put lavender or lilac in there, and yeah, it just helps keep my study space really nice. So the next couple of things I'm going to talk to you guys about are actually websites, and the first website that I love to use is VIN, and that stands for the Veterinary Information Network. And if you haven't seen my video on it, go check it out. It's all about VIN and the VIN Foundation and how they can help you as a pre-vet or a vet student or a veterinarian. But I really love to use VIN because it has so many different tools that can help me out, and one of the biggest tools that I love to use is called 3D Anatomy, and I used it a bunch in my anatomy class, and it was absolutely wonderful. And it's got all the structures that you need to learn, and you can look at them through several different orientations, which is really helpful because we were tested in my class. When you got through your anatomy exam, it was a practical, so it was in person, and you would go in and you would look at these structures. But the hard part was sometimes the animals that we were using, they're positioned in different ways, and so you basically had to understand what a structure looked like, whether it's a nerve or an artery or a muscle, and you had to understand what it looked like from this angle or this angle or this angle, and that was really tough, and that was something that VIN's 3D Anatomy really helped me out on. The second website that really helped all of us in my class was called Colorado Vet Anatomy, and that's really great because it's super detailed, and although it's not 3D like VIN Anatomy is, it's really detailed, and you can search through terms, and it's just been out there for a while, so it's very helpful. So when I was studying anatomy, I would first look up all my structures on Vin's 3D Anatomy, and if there are any I couldn't find on there, I would go to Colorado Vet Anatomy. And if I still couldn't find the structure, I would look it up in my textbook. And that's just how I study, and I hope that helps you guys out. Okay, so my next favorite is actually an Isabel favorite, and it's this toy. And and it's from Target, and she destroys all of her toys, and she somehow manages to not want to destroy this one. So yeah, as you can tell, the fabric is kind of shiny, it's not fuzzy, and it looks like a little frog. And she also has one that looks like a little crab, and yeah, they're just really, really cute. So if you have a dog, these are really good if your dog destroys everything. Come on here. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys, I've been loving for the past year. I actually got it on my 21st birthday, and it's my Instax Mini 70, and it's kind of like a Polaroid camera. It gives you little pictures like this, and I actually have a whole wall of them. It's right here, and I'll show you guys that now. And yeah, I just really love it. I love taking it to dinners or parties, because you pull it out and everyone's wondering what it is and how it works, and everyone likes shaking the little pieces of film to try to get them to develop faster, and it's just really fun, and it was a great way to document my first year in vet school. Another thing that I really love to have in my room are plants, and especially succulents. I have a bit of an obsession. I've got a bunch over by my window, but this one is my favorite. His name is Oscar, and he's really cool, and I don't know if you can see it now, but his leaves are actually kind of see-through. But yeah, he's actually flowering, as you can see. And yeah, especially before I got a dog, it was just really nice to have something that was living in my room, and that just sounds kind of weird, but when you spend so much time in one place, it's nice to watch something grow. And yeah, I just really love it, and this one at least is the easiest to take care of. I've killed quite a few, but this one's hung on pretty well. And yeah, that's just one of my things that I love having around in my room. Guys, so the next thing that I want to show you is kind of a beauty favorite, and that is the Sugar Rose Fresh Lip Balm. And it's really awesome. It feels like butter, and it has SPF in it, and it just gives you a little pop of color. I'm actually wearing it now, and I also wore it to my vet school interview because it gave me a nice healthy little glow, but it was also still very professional. And this is also, it's a little pricey, so I'll leave a link in the description bar of a more budget-friendly version as well. Okay, so the next thing I have that I really want to show you guys is a book that I've been loving. It's called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and this is what the cover looks like. It's actually about to be turned into a movie, and so I heard about the book a while ago, and I had just heard that, and I was like, okay, I have to read it now. And it's really amazing, and I'm not much of a bookworm. I really wish I was, but yeah, so when I find a book that I really love, it's kind of a big deal for me. And the book is about a woman named Henrietta Lacks, and in science and research, there's this cell line called HeLa cells, and they are, it was the first immortal cell line. So what that means is the first time that scientists were able to grow human cells in a petri dish without them dying after a certain amount of time. And they were just super important for research because it allowed scientists to test experiments on cells instead of having to go through a full human clinical trial and having to test them on, you know, whole people. And so they did a lot of amazing research. The polio vaccine was developed with HeLa cells. The IVF treatments were developed. Chemotherapy was developed. HIV medications. And it was so pivotal for science. And it talks about the woman who the cells came from, and there's a big ethical dilemma in the book because they were taken without her consent or her knowledge, and it goes through, it kind of talks about her life and her descendants' lives in parallel to how science is progressing once they are able to grow her cells. And mind-blowing amount of money has been made off of these cells, and herself and her descendants were and still are very poverty-stricken. So yeah, there's a really big ethical dilemma, and it's fascinating and intriguing and makes you frustrated, and it's just got all of the things that a good book should have, and it's true. And yeah, it's just an amazing book, and I won't ruin it from here on out. I won't say too much about it, but it's a very good read, and I'm not quite done with it, but it's a page turner. And if you guys are looking for something that's science related, this is definitely a book for you. And the great thing also is that it's, you know, it talks about science, and it's so great to read something about science that isn't dry like all of my textbooks because, you know, I've been reading about similar things in my cell biology class and a couple of other of my classes, and it's so cool to see them, you know, to see real life examples of how these procedures are used. And yeah, it's just fascinating, and you guys should all go read it. Another one of my absolute favorites is actually the bracelet that I'm wearing today. And as you can see, it holds a hair tie, and I absolutely love it because I live in Missouri and I always need a hair tie, and sometimes I'm going out to dinner or I'm going out with my friends and pictures are being taken, and I just really don't like the way that hair ties look just, you know, wrapped around your wrist. And so this is kind of a way to dress it up a little bit. And my hair ties, I don't know if any of you guys get this, but they're really tight and I always leave that mark on my wrist, and that can be good for you. So this is also, it keeps it off of your wrist, which is really nice. I honestly wear it every single day and I love it. And it's by a company called Bittersweet, and they've got several different bracelets at several different price points. So I'll put a link to that in the description bar below. So my next favorite is actually really common. It's hand sanitizer, and I think it's so important to use because when I first went to college when I was a freshman, I was in a new environment and I stayed in the dorms, and when one person got sick on my floor, everyone got sick on my floor, and I just got sick so many times that year. I was over it. And when I went back to school that next year, I was a sophomore, I lived in the dorms again, and I was like, I'm not getting sick. And I used hand sanitizer religiously, and I'm not usually that much of a germaphobe. A few things gross me out, but I was just so tired of getting sick. And so I use this so much. I keep it on my desk before I eat, before I do anything where I might be touching my face. I just use hand sanitizer. I also have a little one that's hooked to my backpack. And yeah, it's necessary. And you know, the same thing happens in vet school. If one of us gets sick, everybody gets sick. And yeah, so I avoid several of those sick waves through just using a ton of hand sanitizer and just washing my hands regularly. So you guys have to keep healthy while you're studying, because if you get sick right before a big exam, it just totally sucks and it throws everything off, and I just don't want that for you. So that is one of my biggest tips to use in college or in vet school. And yeah. And there's one last thing that I want to show you guys, and that is my North Face backpack, and it's called the Isabella Backpack. And I absolutely love it. I actually got it when I was a sophomore in high school, so it has lasted me so many years. And it's funny, I probably shouldn't have gotten a white one because they get dirty, but I just put it in the washing machine every year before I start school, and it comes out looking brand new, and it has lasted me so long. And so that's why I recommend getting a North Face backpack, because they're just a great deal. And you know, I could have gotten one that is a bit more budget friendly, but I probably would have had to replace it every year. So in the long run, it actually is a very good deal, and that's why I totally recommend the North Face backpack. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that these things can help you guys out when you go back to school, or if you're going to vet school for the first time, good luck. And please be sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.